What's up? What's up? What's up? I am now just giving everybody a chance to get in. Get in here. Get in here. Welcome. Welcome. All right. Hello, everybody. See if our guest is gonna be with us. How's everybody doing? Hello,
Hey, how are
hello.
you,
All
love?
right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ay, ay. We're just gonna wait a little bit until some more people get in. But yes, this is the fabulous lover of purple herself. But today I have on pink, Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Okay, you're allowed for this time. You're allowed.
For this time?
It's for a great cause, so you're allowed.
The funny thing is, though, is that even though my favorite color is purple, I don't have that many purple clothing.
How dare
I
you?
know! Blasphemy!
No,
Blasphemy!
don't say it out loud.
But it's in my heart. It's in my heart. That's where
Hmm.
it counts. That's where
Hmm.
it counts. Leave it up to me. I would actually, when I was younger, I would actually have a full-on purple room. But my mom said, you know what? We're going to do the bedspreads. We're going to do the curtain. But the walls must stay white.
Well, I had the full-blown purple room until maybe 5 years ago, and now I have
What?
accents of purple. But I'm going back completely
But
purple. If it's for me, my whole house could be purple.
I think a guy coming into the situation would be like, woman, I think
That
you
is exactly how
exaggerating.
my partner was like, so how long we have to say what this purple was? I was like, listen, with these words, you're gonna have to understand me and my purple was okay. Thank you very much. That's why again 5 years ago we changed it, but I still have
Uh-huh.
purple in my room. Yeah.
Hey, gotta do what you gotta
It is
do.
what it is.
It is what it is. But yes, it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna get pumped. We're gonna get it going. Today, the show is about our women exaggerating, and we're gonna hit this from front, side, back, center, everywhere,
I'm
everywhere,
ready. I'm ready.
everywhere. But with drinking tea with V, I like to start off with a moment of gratitude, just for the positive vibes, just for a moment of gratitude at anything. It could be little, it could be small. You want me to go first, or you, as my wonderful guest, are you going to go first?
Let me go first.
Okay.
I
What are
think
you grateful for?
for first of all for life.
Yes.
Secondly, I would have to say for this opportunity. I think everyone who is following me or who already followed me, Empowerment
Mm-hmm.
Queen is something that is very dear to my heart. And sometimes you don't really know exactly how to execute certain ideas that you have. You know that
Mm-hmm.
it's your purpose, but exactly how you have to go fulfill it, it's always a question mark. So when I get invitations like this, I'm like, oh my God, people know me. And and I think of being here, and I appreciate you for all that you are doing as well. So I think it's just the fact that I'm here in your presence virtually, for me, is
Aw.
very grateful for that.
Big hugs, big hugs, big hugs. You see, if it wasn't this far and it wasn't like the Rona situation,
It's okay.
But
Auntie Rona, just have to relax. We know
exactly.
there, we know you kind of want attention, but it's time for you to simmer
Yeah,
down.
I want to be given hugs. I like giving and receiving hugs.
Yeah,
That's
don't worry. In due
but
time, in due
sorry?
I said in due time.
In due time. Yes, in due time. I always have like this one piece of hair that just rebellious. But
It's
but let me see, what am I grateful for right now? Um I'm grateful for the empowering feeling and strength that and inspiration from just me sharing about being vulnerable in my last post. I think that awakened and loosened a lot of things within a lot of people, and so many beautiful stories were shared with me. I was like, oh, girl, yes, yes.
Yes.
And basically, that is what I am about, and that is also what you are about. So I feel like that is also something that is, what I'm grateful for is incorporating everything
Yes.
because this is like a sisterhood online. The
Yes.
guys get to also chime in. Like I
Yes.
always like to say, it's like a slumber party with a business slash entrepreneurial flair. So, but guys actually get to be here too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's almost about 50-50 the following that I have, which is
Okay.
amazing to me, which is only what something else that I'm really grateful for is that men are also not being that patriarchal, to say the least.
It's about time. It's about
that
time. Lord knows
women
it's about time. Hallelujah.
Yes, that women's perspectives and women's opinions and women's views are also being taken into consideration. And that is all that is necessary.
Yeah.
It is highly necessary. And that's why we have your platform, Empowerment Queen, and my platform, Drinking Tea with V, just to be able to just sit down and spill the beans. Okay?
Oh.
But yeah, so
The
there's no drinking tea
excitement.
with V. Sorry?
I said the excitement.
Yes, 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 yes. But there's no drinking tea with V without actually drinking tea. And so I got mine here. What you got, girl? What you got? What you got? What you got?
Wait. So y'all know I gotta bring the Caribbean flavor and my purple cup and my
Ooh,
purple.
and it purple too. Child. Get it,
So
girl.
I am
Get
drinking
it.
coconut rum.
Coconut
It's
rum. Ooh,
one. Yeah.
she gone
It's one.
spicy with it, huh?
I'm still on vacation. I'm still celebrating my birthday. So hey, cheers, cheers.
Cheers. Like, mom, baby. Mine is tea. Yours is coconut rum.
You see, but it's a time difference.
It's a time difference for real. And
So
also the climate.
yeah, as well.
Also the climate.
So I'm
Because
bringing.
when I'm in Aruba, I'm not drinking all of this tea. Bush tea in the morning, yes, must have. Today I'm having strawberry tea because I'm feeling
Oh,
kind of fruity
oh,
delicious.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy.
Thank you. But so yes, we got we got into the fundamentals are done. So we'll head straight on into the topic. My hair is also stuck in my earring, which is pulling. Okay, so yes, as I said before, the topic for today is are women exaggerating? So let's say let's I hear in the background there somebody just went
So I,
but we go ignore that person there in the background and went because that person just happens to be male. Just
yeah.
saying.
Okay.
But what is your general consensus?
On.
Are, on
Jeff.
are women because we have the term drama queen, right?
Yeah.
So that must be coming from somewhere.
Um. Hmm. Hmm. You know me. I think I should start by saying that I do not like to generalize.
Mm-hmm,
I try not to because again I'm human and sometimes we get carried away. I
mm-hmm.
don't like to generalize. That's one, and I don't like to label people. That's two. Even though I dub myself a drama queen because I am, but um, that is
Self-kenning,
that is
self-awareness.
yeah, that is just self awareness, and that is just
Mm-hmm,
me being very extra at all times. But I don't think that we exaggerate. I think that our power of being female is that we feel and we sense things way more than the other sex. So I
mm-hmm.
think that comes along with certain extra female powers, I call them, where you see things and you feel things, so then you have to express it. We're also more expressive, so automatically we come over as in being too much or exaggerating. But if I feel a certain emotion, why can I not express it? And that's why I think sometimes I try to relate that to men, as in, you know what, nobody never tell men not to be expressive. If you want to cry, cry. You know what I mean? If you want to laugh,
Well,
laugh. So I don't think that it's yeah stuck to the gender, but I
mhm.
do think it's our nature to feel and sense things way more. So it's automatically that our female senses just out there a bit more
Half our
louder than.
spidey senses just
So I think that is what I think. That is my point of view on exaggeration. It's just we just feel more.
okay, okay. But I think, you know what it is? I don't know if we necessarily feel more per se, because I've come to realize that men can be quite sensitive,
Yeah, yeah.
even, but they have been taught not to express it, right?
Sadly enough.
And that's why you get the thing, the certain phrases like "man up."
Yeah. I
How
don't
do
agree
you
with that
feel?
at
How do
all.
you feel about that?
I don't agree with that at all because again, I think a few months ago I posted something that is exactly those type of expressions is what have a lot of, and I'm not saying that um men are broken. I'm not saying that because we all have our loose ends that we have to tie up, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that is why we have a lot of men walking around that requires a lot of healing because no time in their past they were allowed to have emotions. No time in their past
Exactly.
they were allowed to even relay any type of disappointment, sadness, or anything like that. And then what happens? You just bottled up all your feelings. And what happens to a bottle when it's over full? It's going to burst out. And then when we see them act in a certain way, it's very easy to be like, oh no, I don't want a type of man and I don't need this in my life. But did we nurture him the right way when he was younger? Did he get the right nurturing? And that again, that is a whole nother topic. But yeah.
That child, that is also in the exaggeration, because I feel like what we're talking about now is toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And I feel like as women we have toxic femininity as well. And that's where that vulnerability comes in now, because for um if they're not saying, oh yeah, girl, you just exaggerating, then you have to be like this strong woman, right?
Mhm.
We always, as for, especially, I was going to say for all, especially as Black women, we tend to get the label of strong woman.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I feel like there's toxic femininity.
Yeah. It can go both ways.
Yes, exactly. It
Can
goes
go
both
both
ways.
ways. It could be a compliment, but at the other time, it could be somewhat of a curse because it's like you're not allowed to feel. And the moment that you start feeling, or you start, like in my case, the moment I
Mhm.
start saying that I this voicing my disagreements, then it's like you're being difficult. You're being too much, Nicole. And I'm like, oh. So because I'm strong, that means I have to be okay with everything. No, I have to set
You suck
boundaries.
it up and go with the program.
You know what I mean? I am a strong woman because I set boundaries and I know what I want and I want it a certain way and I require it to be that way. And if it's not that way, then so be it. Then you have to get the step in. But that doesn't mean that I'm difficult or I'm being impossible. No, I'm just being in my own right, and I have that right, and everyone else have that right. It's not only me against the world, but everyone as an individual have a right to set their boundaries. And
Of
you're not being
course.
difficult, you're not being a drama queen.
Definitely. I agree with that too, because even
Yay.
as we high five, high five, high five. But being a woman who's a go-getter, that tends to be, is either you're labeled as masculine
Mm-hmm.
or you're labeled as, honey, you're exaggerating.
Yeah.
You're being emotional.
Yeah.
Those are the terms when you're being expressive, those are the terms that are being used. Now I've come to realize that um because of traits that I didn't choose for, I kind of still get away with a little bit more. Is just to say, like, because of my the tone of my voice, for instance, my voice, and because of my frame, people tend to be like, it's for men, it tends to be a little bit more acceptable in the sense that,
Yeah.
oh, She's a petite,
Oh,
dainty. Yes. But then when the fire starts coming,
that is a
not
whole
to say that
story.
I don't think that I'm overbearing in any sense, but I'm strong in who I am and what I stand for. So then is when you start to get the labels of drama queen. Then you start to get the labels of, oh, you're being masculine, or you're being mannish, or
Yeah.
you have masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
But that is like a whole nother topic on its own. But
But let
I
before we go on our topic, just for us to make it clear that as a human being, you have both sides, right?
exactly,
We both have our feminine and our female traits, both men and women. So we have to address that on another time as well, because I mean,
But
if
that is just, I feel like that just comes from a classic framework of what we consider to be one for one gender and the next gender. That's why when I say masculine and feminine, um, Anicia, who also joined in, we had that conversation via the stories online yesterday as well. I tend to still elaborate with what I mean with masculine and feminine. Like feminine being the more, if you look at how a woman is built as well, is being the more receptive type energy, and nurturing and all of that, and the masculine, which masculine quote unquote, would then be more like the giver, the go-getter, the outward more,
yeah,
you know. So that's feminine and masculine energy to me, but I don't classify it as a gender specific thing.
yeah,
But
understand, and
sorry.
I understand and I agree.
Sure. This is too easy of a conversation.
No, start it
We
again.
are evolved women.
Yeah, we are evolved. It's about time.
Because still I tend to also, especially, I'm not gonna bash our Caribbean men, but those who have been, I would say, tend to be more traditional, have a harder time with women like myself,
Like us, with women like us.
like us.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I don't think much has actually changed. I think society just have has become more accepting of.
Mm, mm.
I feel like, because I think women used to play a lot more into being like, oh yes.
I
I
think that
tried I tried I tried to balance both energies. I tried to balance them.
well, I still can't tap into that energy as yet, but I
what what
try.
what is what is but do you feel like when you tap into that energy, do you feel like that is being weaker?
No, it just feels unnatural. So
Mm,
I don't go there.
okay.
And that is something I'm working on. I'm working on to try to be zachter, and not zachter in the sense as submissive.
Mm-hmm.
Because me and that word have like it start to
Woo, child. We
ooh,
bring in
child.
the terms to, oh, you
It start,
coming in with the heavy ones.
yeah, it start to like irk me, and all over it start to itch, and then it don't work out.
I start to break out in hives and be like,
Yeah, yeah. It's like what? So what? Like Subway, maybe? But yeah. Um, but just I don't know. It's kind of difficult. I think it has to do a lot with my upbringing, and then all the personalities around me, and then
mm-hmm.
we were all so strong and always getting our being opinionated, and
Yeah.
I I don't know.
But you know what?
But I'm working
That
on
used
it
to,
because again, sometimes I feel that I push away people unnecessarily, and that is not the point either. So I have to try to find some type of balance.
and then we got, which is a good one. What is your understanding of submissive? And I was just coming to that, which is actually, that used to be me too. Really, like, used to break out in hives. So I recognize that. But now when we come to break down the actual meaning of the word submission, which has been taken out of context,
Yeah.
which is sub to the mission, in support of a mission, then you see submission as something differently.
I agree.
Because it's just being in support of a mission.
Okay, but a
But you
lot
see,
of time,
and that is where we're gonna take a little side step here. Let me start preaching.
yeah, okay,
That is where it is a lot, and I feel like for men, because they've been traditionally in more leading roles, it's easier for them to just have someone and be the one that has the mission that they're asking someone else to submit
yeah,
to be in support of. But now when the woman is the one with the vision, is he then also able to be sub to that mission?
and to add to what you said, and I think that is
Yeah.
the part where it irks me, that as I started in the beginning, I said I don't believe in gender roles. So of course, I don't believe who have to take the lead or not. Yes, I can be supportive to the mission if it's our mission, not just
Yeah.
your mission. You understand? And I think that is where they take the word submissive out of context, because a lot of people come into whatever, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, they come in with their own um, 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 agenda, whether it's hidden or not, and
Yeah.
then think that people have to follow through. And then you're going to get me who's going to be like, no, I'm about a life. And then one time it's like I'm being difficult. No, I'm not being difficult. If this is something that is a group effort, it's a team effort, then we have to come to the table and you have to be able to tell me, you know what, Nicole, this is my plans. Okay, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I agree with that and that, but how about doing this? And if I have that type of input, then we could do this. We could go full throttle to that mission. But if it's just that you imposing on me, I think that is the whole thing. The imposing part of what people, yeah, like underline under submission, that is
Yeah.
that irks me. Don't
It's
tell
just
me what,
um
don't tell me I
it's
have to
just
do.
passive following and I will dictate whatever. That
Yes,
tends to be that underlying,
yes,
that underlying thing that just irks us. But
yeah,
then again, I feel like in whatever relationship it might be, whether it, of course, with a parent relationship, is the dynamics are going to be different. But when you have friends or when you have a romantic relationship, then there are personal goals and there are shared goals.
yeah,
And I feel like everybody should be in submission, being submissive all across the board. So to
yeah,
the individual goals,
mhm,
but also to the shared goals.
yeah.
And when couples don't have shared goals, that's when you get the whole pulling situation.
And the majority of the times when you see the word submissive or submission in a context, it's not the general all, both being on a one mission type of context. It's about
No,
I am powerful, I am imposing, and you have to follow. Because a lot of
it,
time when you see people use the word submission of their submissive, they always like low-key link the Bible into it, and it's like, no, 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 we ain't doing this. Because then
but
again, you're taking it out of a whole another context to a certain extent.
precis,
You understand?
precis.
So I
Plus
think
even
anything when it comes to any type of mindset, any type of wording, you have to first ask the person, like how Anissa did, ask the person what they think of the word and what they perceive that word to be, and then
understand.
have the conversation. Because again, if I have to find myself in front of a narcissist and someone who is totally onto like power struck, and he talking or she talking submissive with me, that is the end of the
Mm.
conversation. Because then don't have no way, no how, we're gonna be on the
Yeah.
same line. So then you have to get canceled. I respect you, but until there, bye, have a good day. Thank you for flying Southwest.
So to the left, not the west. The west. Well, it could be the west to the west. The west. Let's see. Somebody
But
said
don't worry,
here that
I'm in a process. I'm in a process and I'm getting there. I do agree with you guys, and I do understand it. I comprehend it completely.
Mhm.
But yeah, I still live in the Caribbean, and that word, no,
The
yeah,
general consensus of what the word should mean is not what you subscribe to, basically.
no.
But
So
fiercely weird said the opposite of submissive is dumb, and not enough people possess enough emotional intelligence to find or figure nuances or theories that see it in a positive light or context.
yeah,
True,
yeah,
and that is true. Is like we were basically like she said it so eloquently. I said she, but I think it's fiercely weird as a she. Well, as fiercely weird said,
she is.
um, emotional intelligence. And I feel like in this day and age, instead of labeling somebody like exaggerated,
Mhm.
too hot to handle, because I feel like I automatically need to start snapping. You understand? Because if you want to
Precis.
start labeling me things, I feel like I need to, not
Yeah,
that whatever somebody says has an effect on me directly, but um, I still have some spice no matter what. But yeah, emotional intelligence, and it's all about us looking further than the things that we've been taught or
and
that have been just given from a young age.
emotional intelligence is something that sadly enough we don't really tap into. We don't go there. We don't. I think as I'm a parent and being a social worker, we work on that in my household, but there's a lot of households that don't even know where to start. And then again, you have people then walking around not even knowing that certain things exist, and you're allowed to feel a certain way, and you have to be some type of um, um be a bit understanding and kind towards others because of such and such and such and such and such, that
Mm-hmm.
we don't even get to have a certain conversation because some people are not even on that level. The moment you start talking about that, it's like, oh gosh, you're working psychology on me, or oh, I'm not there yet. And then when someone don't know something, and that is her own, that's human instinct. When we don't know something, we tend to
Yeah,
shy away from it, or we run from it. We just cancel it completely, and then we don't grow.
you touch on a really good point there, because I feel like for so long we've just been in survival mode. I said we, especially we as a people,
Yeah,
um, we as Black people, we as Caribbean people, because of history, we've just been in survival mode. And in those cases, we don't focus as much on emotional intelligence because, boo boo, ain't got no time to be emotional
yeah,
because
exactly.
we out here trying to survive. We out here trying to literally fight for our lives
Mm-hmm.
and fight on a daily basis just to be and stay alive. So then you don't have time to tap into emotions and then delve into how you feel. How am I making you feel? What would
Yeah,
you like to feel? How can I help you on your process? How would you like to grow? All of those kind of things we've not been necessarily brought up with.
no,
So I feel like, especially our generation, it is our task now to then also um, take that and put more emphasis on it.
yeah,
Because, like you said, as a mother, as a social worker, these things are important. But for the everyday person dealing in whatever their roles may be, even at
it is.
work, at
Yeah,
home, in a relationship,
yeah, especially in a relationship.
especially in
Again,
a relationship.
people, when people hear relationship, they think automatically a significant other, and relationships are just the relationship you have with
Relationships are across the
people.
board.
So relationship, once you're dealing with another human being, you have to be able to have some type of empathy. You have to be able to tap into what that person is feeling. You have to be able to at least read body language. Like, you know what, today is not the right day. Let me just, ask you if you're okay, and whenever you want to talk, let me get back to you. But no, we go one time in a defense and we take it personally as like, oh, you having an attitude and you being difficult again and you being this and you being dramatic, and it's like, I'm just not having a good day. And just to sidetrack a bit, and this is where it comes when we talk about mental health,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't really have all of this, how you call it,
The tools.
not only the tools but the knowledge of
Uh,
certain emotions and things that are going on, then we can't understand others when they're not making it or when they're not having a good day, because we never really had the time, or we never
Maybe we
practice
don't
to
take the time.
put ourselves aside and focus on the other person for just that 1 minute, because it's like we never have time for nothing. We never have time for ourselves, let alone other people. And that is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why we don't have no time? Because we're not making time, or because we're not aware of certain things that we try to run away from, being faced with someone that is having a difficult time mentally, etc. So I think, yeah, we have to just do a lot more better. And like you
Yes.
said, we are the generation to just be preaching and calling everybody out, whether it's our parents, our
You did
elders, because
you out on this.
believe you me, I be calling people out and be like, what you busy with? Like, you know what? Let's be a bit more sensitive for once. Like, come on. Because if you were in that person's shoes, you wouldn't feel the same way. So, yeah.
I feel like what Anicia says here as well taps into that really nicely. She says too often we're unaware of our programming and we walk around, sorry, with
Yeah.
excessive baggage burdening us while we try to maneuver this world and taking up space. And
Yeah.
so because we some of us are literally unaware, and I don't want to call any names, but not too long ago, I had a person that I was literally asking them, like, what do you think? What do you feel? It was literally difficult for them to say how they felt. I'm like, did you even think about this before? Do you do the inside work? Just not just going along to get along, but of course, being a nice person is important, you know? That is something that is also a good trait. But don't be nice to the point where you're just being nice, just being agreeable to be agreeable, and then anything out of that seems like too much. So now when you're asked, like, okay, how do you think, how do you feel about this and that, they're just blissfully unaware. Blissfully unaware, and I'm like, boo, you got work to do. you
Yeah.
you got work to do, because
And
after having different conversations, it's like, oh yeah, but I don't agree to this. I'm like, there you go. I finally get an answer.
yes, like good.
Welcome. So yeah,
Yeah,
this is
and what Anisha said and what you just mentioned is what I mentioned earlier when I said that we have so much, and it's like because all of us, each and every one of us, have a lot of healing to do, and maybe someone is way a bit more further on their journey than the other, but we
yeah.
all have some healing. We all have some traumas. We all have some unfinished business, unanswered questions, some untapped emotions that we have to deal with before we even start and think on dealing with someone else. And I think that's why, I don't want to say broken people. So I tend to think on healing, that we just need that healing in order to continue our journey of life. And I think that is where a lot of us are stuck. Because if you don't even know how a certain feeling, or how to even, yeah, describe a certain feeling, how would you know how to get over that feeling, or how do you know to heal from that feeling if it's a negative feeling? And again, when it comes to emotional intelligence, like, you don't get it in school. You just don't.
No, I feel like that is something that we should tap into, because if we look at where these different things come from, when we're often saying when we often hear that you're exaggerating. Let's take it a step back, right? I'm gonna name off a couple of things, and you're gonna say whether you find um, somebody is exaggerating in that
Oh
at that point in
no.
time.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
No.
it's fun. It's fun. It's
Okay,
gonna be
wait, give
fun.
it like a okay, okay, let me go. Buzzer, buzzer, buzzer.
It's gonna be fun. Though it's not too heavy because I like to balance the heavy with a little light. So getting your natural kinky curly hair combed, and the child goes like, "Ow!" Is that exaggeration or not?
No, it's not. No. No, it's not.
You
In the,
can remember when you used to be on that seat and you like, my God, like
yeah,
leave
but
me
that's the thing,
alone.
like
No,
yeah, it was horrible, and I think that's why now when I come in my children here, I try not to. But then like
no.
I
Yeah.
have a daughter that I didn't even pass the comb, and she's like, ah, and I'm like, stop it, because the comb in my hand. So, like, so that's why, yeah, it's a bit difficult to say yes or no. But overall,
I
I
mean, everybody's scalp is different. So I mean,
yeah,
after
that's another factor. But
yeah,
overall, I think back then in our days, I think it was not exaggeration because like now we know that you have to comb the hair
comb
start
from the
from
tips,
the end,
comb from the
from
tip,
but
go up,
now back then you used to take from roots from
straight
your
from the
back.
roots.
You know what you know what I mean? So I had and I still have tender scalp. So I don't think I was exaggerating then because I used to legit cry balls on the place. But now you
Yeah.
know that you have to start from the tips and go up gradually. And I don't think no parent back then had time for that. So yeah, we had to start.
I don't think that they necessarily had
Knowledge.
the the knowledge and the tools that we have nowadays with so many hair videos and this and that and that.
Yeah.
But let's see. So that was like okay for maybe our generation. It was like a slight trauma,
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
need therapy for that. No, just kidding.
well, I still have natural hair, so I
So
survive.
do I. I just have a blowout right now. But so do I.
It looks really. I saw it. It looks really good. But
Yay.
I still like your curly hair, anyways.
Yeah, I know. I going back, I going back. I did it
Don't
actually
worry, don't
just
worry.
cut my
But I
end.
like both. I'm not of the type. I'm not the natural hair Nazi. Listen, do what you want. Do what you hear. You color it. You blow it. You whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel you.
Do you boo?
No, this is just easy
But
because
I'm
I'm a
just
very
letting you know.
yeah.
I love your natural hair, and I love this look too. So,
Thank you. I always love yours, so I need your length.
ah,
How about that afterwards? We can have
the
the
shrinkage
conversation.
is real. The
Yeah, no,
shrinkage
but we
is real.
know about you.
But yeah,
Anybody knows you know about your length. That's goals.
well, actually, I've been cutting it for quite a while, but I'm leaving it grow. But I like when it shrink because then it's like off of my clothes, and then I have less product and stuff like that to wash out. But that's a side note.
Yeah.
That is not me being exaggerating right now because if you have natural hair, you would know that the product
The
buildup
sugar
of your
liberated.
situation is yeah. High heels. The pain of wearing high heels. Exaggeration or not?
Mm-mm. I don't think so. But let me just throw this out there. If you have on something that is uncomfortable, why wear it?
That is a good point. That is a good point, darling. That is a
Like
wonderful point.
I have
Which
like thunder boobs, and my boobages do not allow me to wear anything high. I do it when I'm modeling. I do it if I'm feeling an extra sauce, but it has to be very comfortable. I'm not going to be walking around like a baby goat trying to figure out life because
like Bambi.
yeah, because it's supposed to be fashion. Like no, I believe fashion has to be comfortable. It has to be you. So I won't say that heels are exaggerating, but if you have pain from wearing heels, then you either have to find a new shoe or find a good sole. But I don't
Or
think that
practice.
you have to be walking around in pain, putting yourself in something like that. Like who does that? It's 2020. Rona taught you better. Stay home. Don't wear heels if you're in pain.
No, no boo. Let me see. Healing isn't linear. No, it's not. The journey of healing has become propaganda, and many expect one size fits all formula. Definitely, but
Yeah.
we heal our traumas today, and that's why we're talking about this whole
Mhm.
exaggeration on so many different
And to,
aspects.
to tap into what she
But
just said about healing and exaggeration, like again, because we are individuals, I am not allowed, and I'm going to say this very, very sturdy, like I am not allowed to even start to tell you, you know what, you overdoing it because you feel a certain way, because I have no clue on how you
how
feel.
you feel.
Like I have no clue. I could say, you know what, hey, I've been through that and it wasn't so tense, but I cannot impose my feeling on you.
Let's get to a good one now.
Mm-hmm.
PMS.
No, that ain't exaggerating.
Some people is like, take a paracetamol, get your act together, boo boo, and
Again, coming back to that, everyone goes through something differently. Like not because you have one, it's one thing, like one medical condition or one situation, everybody have to face it the same way. You know? And that is coming from someone that suffers from endometriosis. So hey, yeah. When it comes
girl,
to medical terms, I'm sorry.
drop them terms on them, boo. Drop them.
I'm sorry. Like cannot. It could be a simple headache. Maybe you know, and everybody have a different pain trends. That's another story. So you cannot. You're not. I just again, I'm saying that you're not allowed to tell anybody that exaggerating on anything, on anything.
On what to tell them
Because
what their
oh,
experience
you
is.
don't know what a person goes through. You don't know if that lay extra something is like that was the tip of the iceberg for them, and now they in a whole messed up feeling because it's a whole accumulation of other things, and then you get to just see that right there, but you don't know all what going on behind the scenes. So you're not allowed. You're just not allowed. You're just not allowed. Point. Because so you're not allowed. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And even with this conversation, I want to tap a little bit more into like women's health. And we talked about PMS just now, that being a thing. We're gonna get a little bit into some more of this juicy story because I feel like I don't feel like I know for a fact. Because even with traditional things like heart attacks and strokes in the medical field, most of these things are being tested or being evaluated on men.
Mhm.
And a lot of these things are being run by men.
Mhm.
And so, where it comes to women's health, a lot of things are being overlooked.
Yep.
And even if we take a deeper look into the whole PMS, pregnancy, childbirth,
Childbirth.
getting the ruggenprik, how you call that in English?
Epidural.
Epidural.
Mhm.
All of these kind of things, or even if we take it back before the whole pregnancy, all of that, you have um, yeah, planned planned pregnancies, and you have
Mhm.
prescriptions for let's say the word, you see my Dutch brain just
It's
fully
okay.
kicked in
It's okay.
because
If I could
because of
translate it,
my
I
medical
will.
brain is in Dutch.
If not, Anicia will translate.
And you
Translation.
see, will
Google
translate for us,
Translate.
right?
Google Translate, please. Yeah. No.
Exactly. But I mean, like taking things like the pill, it's all focused on women, and men just like la 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 la. But now the effects on women, no.
Let me take a sip because
Yeah, sure, sure. You
you
need to
just
take a sip of
started.
this because we going for it. We going for it. So now where if I talk about myself, men, if y'all tuned in, if y'all looking, y'all listening, y'all gonna hear a little TMI. But guess what? In this world of y'all need to know this too. For your significant others, if you're hetero, and if you're having, if you end up with getting a daughter after later on in life, or even right now, you need to be prepared for this. So we're going to give you a sneak peek into the female psyche because you need to know, boo. You need to know.
You need
So
to know.
growing up, I used to always get the thing like when I talk about how painful my cramps would be during my period, like I would literally be out of commission for day one, two, and maybe even three.
Oh wow.
I would be curled up in my bed, even having taken pills, sometimes they kick in and they work, sometimes they don't. And I would literally be there in a fetal position and just be like, God, take me now.
Yeah.
Wipe.
Yeah.
And even from way back when, because I started early. When did I start? I think it was, I just turned 11.
Yeah, I was early as well.
And this is from the age of 11 till up to this day. I mean, now it's gotten better. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh,
Thank God.
high five.
It ain't disappear, it ain't gone, but it's
But
gotten better and more manageable. But even in those instances, it's like, girl, you're exaggerating. Hearing it from your gym teacher,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like, oh, just,
From your friends
girl,
as well.
from my friends too.
As well.
From my friends, especially those who would literally like, oh my goodness, oh, it's here. I'd be
That,
like,
that was me.
I wish.
Yeah, that was me.
I
I,
wish.
yeah.
But
To
how
this
did you go
day,
from
this
how did you go
day,
from
my
that?
inspiration comes as in, "Hey, girl, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, sister, it's been a while. How are you?" Yeah, it's still like that. Despite having endometriosis, I have no
Really?
control over my menstruation. No control whatsoever.
So now you're saying that with endometriosis is the pain that you feel, right? Does that is it on like at any moment in time this can kick in?
Yeah. So I
So
can
it's not cycle
I
related.
can be legit on this live at this moment, and all of a sudden feel like a stabbing, and I will normally just pull through with this conversation, and then afterwards, when we're done, I might curl up in a ball and try to die. But yeah, it's just very very random, and that
Wow.
and that's why it takes so long to be get diagnosed, because the symptoms are so random and so broad that for a doctor to give you a diagnosis, you have to rule out everything and anything, and
Mhm.
then to finally reach there. And being that I'm from a small island, initially no doctor didn't even know about it. Like, I taught my house doctor about it, so I went to him, and I did my own research, and I was like, you know what, I think I might have this. And he was like, to be honest, I heard of it in school, but I never experienced it in a patient. And I was like, you know what, let's do this. Let's go on this journey. And surely enough, after like 15 years, I got diagnosed. But in between then, I just had to suffer in silence.
Wow.
Yeah,
Girl, my heart goes out to you.
okay.
Like, no, for real, because with these kind of different things, like I said, on a small island, the problem is even more intensified because of the fact that
Sorry,
you
let's
have
cut it off. Look at Anicia comment. Anicia,
getting your period, getting your menstruation and not really going through hell is proof that you're God's.
you see, but
That girl.
it's not true, because in my case,
I this is
I
this
don't
is how
experience
listen, I can get extra right now. This is how I feel. This is how I feel. All of y'all who out here just living life like it's
cramp.
golden. And me know every cycle I hear like days before I like mm.
You see, but maybe you should start steaming, Steaming helps.
Child, I changed my whole diet and that helped me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with
I'm not
supplements
sure
and all.
about that.
Listen, I feel like I am versed now in periodology
Yeah. Okay, I hear you. I hear
because I've been to the ringer and back
you.
for
Yeah.
all these years. I had to fight.
Yeah.
Well, I had to lay down, not fight. But yeah.
Yeah, but and that is coming back to what you mentioned on women health, like, um,
Mhm.
for some reason, somehow, and I think that's why I'm even so much more passionate on the word equality, because when you start talking about equality, people are like, oh gosh, here she goes again. But people have no clue that women don't get included in a lot of things. You hear people saying, you know what, yes, my mother and women are mothers and this and that and childbirth, but yet we're not guaranteed safety when we go in that room to give birth. There's no safety, there's no policy. Some people, like, I'm grateful that I'm yeah, I'm Dutch, and that we have some type of thing in put together. But when you hear about stories in the US, and don't even talk about third world countries, it's like you see me going on your deathbed when you're gonna get a child, and it's not supposed to be like that. There's
Mhm.
so much things that is not available for women. And if I have to even talk about now me in Aruba being, you could say that, we're very much forward in a lot of things, and we have the liberty of having a lot of things at our fingertips. But a simple thing as testing for the endometriosis, and there was like a few medications on the shelves in the US. Like, it's like, no, but we don't know about this, so why do we need it? It's something that it's very serious. Like, endometriosis can easily. So when you have endometriosis, when you have PCOS, when you have adenomyosis, what is
Just
ad,
endometriosis
ad,
again, because endometriosis is
adenomyosis?
literally like you have epithelial tissue that is actually like the lining from what's supposed to
Yeah,
be
it's the
inside of your womb.
lateral.
You have that in other places.
Yes, that is endometriosis.
That is endometriosis.
Adenomyosis
PCOS
is
is polycystic ovarian syndrome.
this. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Yes, so that's when you have cysts now in your fallopian tubes or where your eggs are
Yeah,
or ovaries.
and
Yeah,
the adenomyosis is when you have those same lining, but they're inside. So it's very, in order for you to detect, and that is where that one
the
is.
inside of where?
So inside your uterus, like it's in. So you have to really take out the whole womb and everything, and then when you cut it open, then you will see
Mm.
things growing inside. So
Oh, like
there's no way that you can detect it. There's no test. There's nothing that you can detect it outside. So a lot of people suffer in silence because there's no way. You have to literally remove everything, and then it could be like, you was feeling so because you had it.
well,
And
I don't personally, if I look at all of the medical advances that we have made, I don't think that that should be the case.
well, I'm just telling you
Because
how it's at right
I
now.
I know, but that's why I am so serious and so adamant about female I can't say not female health, women's health,
Yeah,
because I feel like a lot of things are just moved, shoved under the rug and being seen as, oh, it's just a little bit of exaggeration. Oh, get over it.
yeah,
Oh, it ain't that bad. Oh, excuse me, what?
yeah.
That like I cannot. And these are things that we need to talk about more because these are things that should be dealt with better
Mhm.
in the medical field and
Yep.
in general.
And I
Because
think
if we look at it like things like things that surprise me that I didn't even realize, recognize, and analyze. Things like for pads and tampons, most of the world, including here in the Netherlands, we pay the high rate of tax of 21% for those kind of things that are, it's not a choice if you want to buy it. It's a
so.
necessity, just like bread and just like food.
Yep.
It's a necessity. So why
Yeah.
should I now, as a woman, be paying tax 21% tax while it should be not? It used to be 6 and now it's 9%. And actually, there shouldn't be any taxes on that at all.
And
Personally, my
this
opinion.
I think I shared it some time back when they talk about having condom machines for free, to the whole teenage pregnancy campaign. But what
Yeah,
about, like how you say, Cotexes and tampons? Like, some people can't afford it. So what I mean?
because they've become, especially the more brand name ones. Listen, if you had to buy that every single month, a couple of packs, hello,
Mhm.
depending on your flow,
Let me tell
because
you.
if your flow is on flow like my flow,
Let me This is exactly why I switched to the cup, because on my,
it's
again, I do not, like with my menstruation, I don't necessarily have pain, but my flow is demasked. And because again, I get it sometimes after so much months, it's like an accumulation. So it's like a whole Mississippi River. And sometimes I
Mhm.
could use like up to 6 overnights in like one time.
Whoa.
And the packs is coming with what, 28? So reckon your sum. You understand? And that's just the one time. And that's not one day. I said one time. Depending on my flow, despite having 6 pads between my legs where I think I walk like a cowboy, maybe I have to change within the 2 or 3 hours.
Our
So if if you just have to rake in the sum, I could easily go to, like, I remember a time, for some reason, I don't know what happened to my body. She was just like, you know what, girl, you have to just go through this and suck it up. And she get on bad, and the flow was really mad at me. And I went through a whole pack in one day.
wow.
Like that. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything because any little movement, it was like a rainfall. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to die. I became I lost so much, but I became weak. I wasn't making it. Now imagine I don't have those funds to buy a pack every day, for example. So what's going to happen to me?
Exactly.
And then, again, when it comes to, you have a world that we're not kind towards each other. So how you think a person going to get along in life? I
used
think
to have to
why
find,
this conversation for me is so important, and it's so, like, it's giving me joy, because I find we as women have to just talk a lot more about these type of things, because we are experiencing a lot of things
it needs to come more
individually.
to the forefront.
Yeah, a lot of things we are experiencing individually, a lot of times in silence, and
Yeah.
nobody's listening to us. And I think if you don't have a simple example, again, me suffering with endometriosis, this year I really started documenting my journey. But imagine me staying quiet and somebody else staying quiet. Nobody going to ever know it exists.
No, because the thing is, if we look at how we've been brought up, for women in general, when it comes to all of these kind of issues in general,
Yeah,
like you just zip it because you
yeah.
don't hang your dirty laundry out so everybody can see. But
Proceed.
this is not a matter of dirty laundry. It's a thing that we are, as women, we suffer physically, and we still need to get it together and pretend like everything is fine and
Yeah,
dandy and put a smile on your face. Because when you're walking down the road, sometimes you even get like the whole comment like, "Hey boo, why put the smile on your face, girl? No, I am in pain right
yeah,
now. Can you leave
yes.
me be?"
Leave me alone. Zip
Like
it,
I try
walk.
to just make it from point A to point B. And like Anicia so beautifully said as well, I bet if men suffered from these, it would be different. As in they would do more research. A
Yeah,
lot more things would be done.
and
I
that
feel like
we
we
have
we have
fighting,
improved.
fighting, fighting.
We have improved, but we still have a long
A
ways to
long
go.
way to go. A long way,
Long.
like long.
Yes.
We a long way to go, and it's sad because we're in 2020, and we
Mm-hmm.
still have to be like simple things. We still have to be, voicing our opinion about is like, come on, man, like, come
Yeah,
on.
definitely. And oh, we're gonna get cut off for a bit, but then well, guys,
Yeah,
we'll
I
just
just what
restart. We're gonna
time.
continue for like a half an hour more, 50 minutes, a half an hour more. But don't be afraid. This is gonna cut off in a little bit, but we're gonna continue.
Remember to
But
share with your friends and let them know that we're coming back on again. The topic.
yes, exactly. You guys share this conversation because this is so, so, so important. Okay?
We have to start
But sorry?
you have to start a campaign. Like, I love
Yes.
love to be very loud.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely. But you know what? We're not gonna wait until this cuts off. And we're gonna stop this one. Make sure you stay right here. We will be right back on in a second, okay? Alrighty. See you guys in a bit.
Bye.